Aloha everybody, welcome to part 2 of Sonic Adventure 2.
Those idiots will never find my hidden base inside this pyramid. Let's take care of business here first, then get inside.
So some of you might be wondering why we're playing the third level of the Dark Side story. Yes, we actually skipped the second level of the Dark Side story. The reason for that is the cutscene that triggers on the second level of the Dark Side story actually triggers at a later point in the hero story. And I think the hero story has better placing for that particular level. So we are going to play the second level of the Dark Side story later, but I am doing this playthrough in chronological order. I want to tell the story the way it's meant to be told, and I feel that the second level should not be played yet. So, instead we're going to be moving on to the third level, which is Sand Ocean, and this is easily one of the hardest levels to A rank if you don't have all of your upgrades. This is a bit of a spoiler. No, not really. But Dr. Eggman gets a flying upgrade later in the game. Well, it's not really a flying upgrade as much as it is a gliding kind of upgrade. The same thing kind of E102 Gamma got in Sonic Adventure. And it makes getting over a lot of the bottomless pit sand pits that are in this level a lot more quicker to pass through. But I'm doing this with bare bones Egg Walker. I'm just doing this with the feet. There's no gliding here. And it's really hard getting the A rank on this level. Every fucking ring counts, and I'm trying to go for every A rank in this game. So, you know, that you can bear witness to an expert LP, to a fantastic LP with hardly any failures, of course. So yeah, this is the first game, technically, where Dr. Eggman starts calling himself Dr. Eggman. In the original Sonic Adventure, Eggman... Actually, before I go on, that beetle I just destroyed, that gun beetle, that's what the flying machines are called. That particular gun beetle I took out was golden. And when you take out a gold gun beetle, you get 1,000 points to your score. And believe me, all the points you can get, the better. So that gold beetle, if you ever see a gold beetle, you have about maybe 3 seconds before they disappear for good. So if you see a gold beetle, kill him immediately. They are worth the points. But anywho, this is the first game where Eggman calls himself Eggman. In the original Sonic Adventure, he called himself Robotnik, and it almost seemed like an insult that Sonic and friends were calling him Eggman. But as of Sonic Adventure 2 onwards, he will now start referring himself to Dr. Eggman. A lot of people actually gave a story reason. They seem to think that Eggman just sort of adopted the name and he'd grown accustomed to it, but in reality, Sega just wanted to retcon this and just go with the flow, because they were tired of having to localize the name to Robotnik, especially when the game designers themselves were putting in, like, Eggman puzzles in the original Sonic Adventure, you know. It didn't make sense that Robotnik, who hated the name Eggman, would put an Eggman puzzle in his egg carrier, you know. So just for the sake of it, his name is still technically Dr. Ivo Robotnik. We heard in part 1 his grandfather, Professor Gerald Robotnik. Like, he still carries the surname. It's still his name, but for whatever reason, he's just going to start calling himself Dr. Eggman from now on. And, yeah. Just deal with it. If you like Robotnik, cool, call him Robotnik. I don't care. But the games call him Eggman now, so just go with the flow. This level's so much slower without the glide, though. Seriously, when you replay this level with the glide, it goes by ridiculously fast. You can just skip all these block puzzles so much quicker. All of the gun robots, which are the military robots, they drop these things called Kaos Drives. And the Kaos Drives are awesome for the Chow Garden, because you can feed the Kaos Drives to Chow and upgrade either of their stats. Purple Kaos Drives increase the Chow's flying ability. Green increases their speed/running, power is increased by the red ones, and the yellow ones increase their swimming ability. And it doesn't change their appearance like animals do. There are animals to collect in this game, not just in the levels, but later in Dr. Eggman's base there will be proper badnik enemies. But, you know, it's just nice to have the Chaos Drives option. By the way, I'm letting them surround me so I can lock on to more than one enemy at once. The more enemies you can lock on, the more points bonus you'll get for destroying them, obviously. And every point kind of counted for this level. Let's see if I got the A rank. Yes!
Now you know why I am the best.
Damn right.
Chaos Emerald in the space colony Ark. I've got to find out just what's going on up there.
We interrupt this broadcast for an important news flash. There has been a break-in at the Federal Reserve Bank today. Mysteriously, the only thing that was
Chaos
stolen was
Emerald?
the Chaos Emerald. According to eyewitnesses at the scene, the suspect was identified as the world-renowned hero, Sonic the Hedgehog. The suspect was seen fleeing the scene, destroying the reserve's guard robots in his path. Stay tuned for
Sounds
more
more like
details.
the work of Shadow.
How pathetic. Find them before they escape! Maria!
What?
Shadow, I beg of you, please do
Maria!
it for me. For all the people on that planet. Sayonara, Shadow the Hedgehog.
I still remember what I promised you. For the people of this planet, I promise you. Revenge!
And now we come to Shadow's first level, Radical Highway. Another iconic 3D level just in its own right. It doesn't quite match City Escape, but the song is also very memorable. And oh, that was embarrassing. Let's restart. I don't know why. Sometimes I do that when I'm playing the games, like the newer Sonic games with ranking systems. If I feel I started off really bad, I'm just like, I could redo that. Let's do that over again. That really wouldn't have affected my ranking. I probably still would have gotten the A ranking, but there's just that part of me that was just like, that fucking sucked. I'm recording this. But then I realized I would leave out the loading screen, which would make it weird editing-wise, so I left that in. But, yeah! So, this is actually my first 3D Sonic game ever. The first time I was ever introduced to 3D Sonic was the Nintendo GameCube and Sonic Adventure 2. I didn't really own a Dreamcast like so many other people did, and Sonic Adventure 2 Battle was the first 3D Sonic game I played, and actually Shadow's level, Radical Highway, was the first 3D action level I ever played. You know me, I love my villains. I loved Dr. Eggman always. Even when I was a kid, I thought him roboticizing animals made him the coolest villain. And so naturally, when I first played Sonic Adventure 2, I actually played the evil Dark Story first. And so my first exposure to 3D Sonic-like controls was through Shadow and Radical Highway. Yeah, for real. Like, I was so mesmerized by the fact that he was spin dashing and doing all those, and collecting rings and doing all the things I used to do in the Genesis days, but haven't done in ages, you know. And, so yeah, Radical Highway is a big place in my heart as well, just for that. Like, this is my first exposure to 3D Sonic, ever. And, ironically, it was through Shadow, who is a copy of Sonic. Not story-wise. Like, story-wise, he's not a copy of Sonic, but, like, literally gameplay-wise, he's doing everything that Sonic does, that he used to do back in the Genesis days. He still, you know, smashes robots, collects rings, goes through loop-de-loops and stuff, so this was my first exposure to it. Anywho, my first impressions of Shadow were unique. I always came in thinking Shadow was just going to be pure evil from the get-go. The commercials for Sonic Adventure 2 had this fun little commercial where, like, these scientists had these two hedgehogs. One was a good hedgehog, and the other was an evil hedgehog. And the evil hedgehog, they lure a giant cow into his test chamber, and then all of a sudden you see blood splatter on the screen. And then it's implied that the evil hedgehog murdered the fucking cow, even though it's like 100 times its size. Anywho, so when I came into Sonic Adventure 2, I was just expecting Shadow to be this pure evil Shadow, this guy who has no remorse for anything. And without spoiling the rest of the story, there is motivation to Shadow's character. There is a reason why he hates humanity and why he's helping out Dr. Eggman. And he's not pure evil, and that's what I really liked about Shadow's character. There was more to him than meets the eye, let's say. Insert Transformers jump cut here.
Ultimate victory.
This game of tag is boring. I'm out of here. Finally decided to show up, eh? Okay, bring it
Squadron
on!
Bigfoot reporting to headquarters. Intruder has been located.
Copy that.
And we come to Sonic's first boss fight right after City Escape level. He's fighting pretty much the same robot that Shadow did. It was actually harder in the Shadow fight in the sense that it had an extra attack. It had the homing laser thing. It doesn't have the homing laser in Sonic's version of the fight. It just shoots its machine gun. And just like Shadow's robot, it will stop and land, and actually, when it lands on the ground, you can jump into the cockpit from there. Otherwise, it's the same fight, though. Just use the boxes to jump up higher to the window to speed the fight up a little. I like the billboards surrounding the boss fight. There's a billboard for Phantasy Star Online, which was also a GameCube and Dreamcast game. And then there's another one for Planet Chaos, or Planet of the Chaos, I think, which is supposed to be like a Planet of the Apes mockery, but it's got Chaos from Sonic Adventure on the poster. I don't know, I find that funny.
Hey guys, take care! What?
It all starts with this. A jewel containing the ultimate power.
That's the Chaos Emerald! Now I know what's going on! The military has mistaken me for the likes of you! So, where do you think you're going with that emerald? Say something, you fake hedgehog!
Chaos control!
He's fast! Hey, it's not his speed, he must be using the Chaos Emerald to warp!
Shadow. I'm the world's ultimate life form. There's no time for games. Farewell!
What is
Stay where you are! Keep your hands up!
Just let it go. You just don't know when to give up, do you?
What are you talking about? That emerald's mine. You got that? The Master Emerald contains special powers that neutralize the energy of the Chaos Emerald. That makes it very powerful. What the?
What? Thief!
Look who's calling who a thief. I came here following the signal from the Emerald. If I'm not mistaken, this is the Master Emerald, is it not? Dr. Eggman.
So that's Dr. Eggman.
Well, I guess I can use it for something. I'll just take it with me. Farewell, knucklehead. Not if I can help it. What?
What was that all about? And look what you did to my emerald!
I did that to prevent the Master Emerald from being stolen, you idiot. If it's in pieces, I can restore it. And by the way, that's not your emerald. Doesn't matter. I'll look into it once I get back to the base.
I despise anyone who takes jewels from me. All the world's gems are mine to keep.
Yeah, we'll see about that, Batgirl.
Alrighty, folks, so in part 3, we will be reintroduced to Knuckles the Echidna's gameplay, as well as Rouge the Bat's. Rouge the Bat also making her debut in this game. And she also has a bit of a fan following as well. And while we're leaving, I guess I'll show you that Sonic Adventure 2 commercial I told you about in Radical Highway. Anyway, see you in part 3.
Subject A. Good hedgehog. Subject B. Evil hedgehog. Introducing Shadow from Sonic Adventure 2. Now you can choose to be Sonic, the good hedgehog, and try to save the world. Or Shadow, the evil hedgehog, and conquer it. What kind of hedgehog are you? Rated E for everyone, only on Dreamcast.